Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So we are going to start our second topic. So we have already covered the first topic and what is spring and all that thing and what is benefit from the spring hammer, and we have already downloaded the means set up our local actually regarding the spring. So we are going to learn about the spring inversion of controller, and we will see how the spring container will work and how we can write the Java code and all that thing. Okay. So first we need to understand what is inversion of control. So basically the spring container is a core of the spring framework. So basically the we need a spring container. So that is called a inversion of control. So basically it's a container, and the container will create the object, write them together, configure them and manage their complete life cycle from the creation to till destruction. So basically the spring container is a part of spring framework, the core part of the spring framework, which is called as the inversion of controller. Means the controller behave like it's the responsible person to create a object, write them together, configure them, manage their complete life cycle from the creation to the destruction. So basically here the container is the important part for the creating everything till the destruction. So the spring container is the dependency injection to manage the component that make of an application. So basically in the spring container we use the dependency injection. This is also a concept and we will learn this in the upcoming chapter. Okay. And these objects are called as spring bean. So basically, like what is spring bean? We need to understand. The spring bean is the object that form the backbone of your application and that are managed by the spring IOC container are called as bean. So as naming, what about the backbone object? Means what are the important object of our application which is managed by the spring IOC container is called as a bean. So that's why we call it a spring bean actually. So bean is an object that instantiate, assemble and managed by the spring core container. Okay, and the container get its instruction on what object to instantiate, configure and assemble via reading the configuration metadata provided. So basically we need to provide information to the spring, right? Anyway we will learn how we can provide the information to the spring so that spring can get instruction to the complete the life cycle of the object. The configuration metadata can be represented by the XML, Java annotation, and Java code. Like we can means what about the configuration related metadata can be represented by the XML. We can use the XML configuration, Java annotation, or Java code. So now in the legacy technology, we are using the XML based configuration. Now Java annotation based. Now it's a popular one actually. So we'll see. Like anyway, we need to learn the both way because lot of projects are still in the legacy means XML configuration base actually. So we need to understand that one as well. So in this series, we are going to learn both the XML based configuration and Java annotation based configuration. So the Spring IOC container makes use of Java project classes and configuration metadata to provide a fully configure and executable system or application. Okay. So we will quickly jump to the our IntelliJ setup and we'll see how the means we will configure and how we write the Spring container and all that thing. Okay. So now yeah, this is our structure. So basically here inside that we are going to write our logic. And yeah. So inside the resource folder, I will create a Spring file. So I will name it as a spring.xml. So here we are configure all the Spring uh, XML configuration, and here we are going to write our Java classes. Okay. So suppose now I am creating a employee class. Okay. Inside that, let let's create a method which return a employee name. So it is going to return an employee name. It's called learn planet. Then how this we can configure it? Anyway, we are going to write a, so here we'll call that one. Basically, we are going to just looking that one. So I'm just copying this one to save some time. So we will create a main method here. Okay. Inside that, so basically in the legacy technology, what we are doing earlier. So basically, we are creating a employee object, right? And whenever we want to use this one, like suppose I want to print this the employee name. So basically, I need to call the employee name. Okay. So let's run it. See, it's print. But this is the legacy technology. We are not decoupling this one. So basically, if we have a large application and huge application, that dependency will happen, and if the code level will change, then we need to change everywhere. So that's why after that we are using the factory method to create the employee class. Okay, so basically we will follow the factory design pattern. So inside the factory design pattern, we basically the factory will create the object actually, but that also some limitation are there, so some dependency also there. Then the spring come into feature. So spring basically help us to manage everything. So we'll see, like suppose right now we need an employee object, so we don't need to worried about the creating an object of this employee. So basically we'll ask the spring to provide us actually. So that's where the spring configuration, we need to provide a configuration information to the spring, and whenever we need to create a employee object, we'll ask the spring. The spring will provide us actually. So that's why we have created a spring xml. So in this tutorial we are going to learn spring xml based configuration, and in the next chapter we are going to see the the annotation base as well. Okay, so I have already created the xml file actually. So we'll just copy paste that one. So it will save some time for us. Okay, so basically, so we need to give the path of this class. So basically our package is the com dot learn planet dot spring project dot employee. So and we'll make it as some unique id. So this is called as a bean id. So basically this is the xml based configuration actually. So we need to register our classes with the bean. So this is called as a spring bean, and this is the unique identifier, you can say the unique name to this bean. And we have provided the class path. So basically we are providing the information to the spring that this is the part of this employee classes, and you can consider as a this is the uniqueness. Okay, then Yeah. Now we no need this, right? So basically, you ask the Spring to create our object. So we'll see how we can do that one here. Okay. So yeah, I'll copy this one. So basically, we use the application context. So application context is the one of the IOC container actually. So it means we are means configuring this one. So basically we are registering now that we have application context, and in this application context we will read the information from this spring.xml file. So this is that's why we have mentioned that class path xml application context. So because we have put this spring.xml file to our class path, basically the application context is the our Spring core container. So it will help us to create and manage Spring object, whatever the object for us. Okay, so that's why we have register now this Spring the XML file actually. Then we'll ask the Spring container to give the. Then we here, because I have asked the Spring application context dot get bean, that I am telling that to the application context that hey, application context, I have a bean id and I need object. Okay, so I will pass this bean id. So this is the bean id employee. Okay, so I will pass this the bean id. Okay. You can write this employee dot class. We need to pass which type of object this is, or you can also pass this one. You can just remove this one, it will also work, and just cast to this employee and see the same output will get it here. Yeah, see, learn plan, the same thing will come actually whatever is there. Okay, and see, we didn't hard code anything, or we didn't create any, we didn't ask any factory, and we didn't follow any design factory pattern, nothing. So we'll simply ask the Spring that we need a object of this. Okay, so let's debug it. I will show you how. So, yes, so see, I have run this as a debug mode. So if you see, it's created an object for us, right? The employee object. Okay, so that's all for this XML based configuration. And in the next video we are going to learn the annotation based configuration as well, and how we can configure this employee, and how the Spring container will know and how we can achieve it. So if you like my video, please subscribe my channel to get the latest video, and we'll see in the next video. We'll learn about the annotation based configuration. Bye bye.